Yeah, just a very quick recap on where we ended last week. We talked about why have a convention card. And if all you're ever going to play is social bridge, the only interest in having a convention card is sort of to keep track of the systems and agreements that you play with different partners. If you have a same partner all the time, that's not too hard. But if you have different partners, they're probably all at different levels of bridge expertise. And it's a good way to keep track of what you play with them. But it's certainly not essential. If you're ever going to play duplicate bridge, it is essential because you're required to have one. When you come to a live game, you need to come to the table with a convention card filled out the way you and your partner are going to play bridge. And if you're playing online, you're supposed to post one online before the game starts so that other players can look at it. And the reason for that is a rule of bridge is you can't have secrets from the opponents. They have a right to know what you're saying to your partner. And a convention card is something they can look at to know that. So that's the reasoning behind it. And then all we got started on the card is the general approach box we wrote in Standard American, which is probably the scheme you're being taught, whether you know it or not. And then we checked the box that said 2 clubs. And two clubs in Standard American basically means if I open the auction 2 clubs, I'm telling my partner I have 22 or more points. So that's what's called a conventional bid. The conventional bid would normally be in red, but we talked about the fact that's not in red because it's so common that ACBL says everybody should know that. And then we did the no trump, moved on to the no trump box. And by the way, if it was in red, it means it has to be alerted. So if I was going to open 1 club, we're not going to talk about what the 1 club opening bid means, but if we were using a 1 club opening bid and it didn't mean we had clubs, it would have to be alerted. And in a live game, partner has to do the alerting. In an online game, you would have to pre-alert it, okay? So anything in red requires you to say alert. You don't explain it unless you're asked. You just say alert. That says, opponents, this bid does not mean what you think it means. And then they can ask if they want to know. But if they don't ask, you don't tell. And if it's a live game, partner has to do the alerting and partner has to explain it. You can't. Because if you explain it, you're telling your partner what you have, and you're not allowed to do that. You can't say anything about one of your own bids in a live game. In an online game, it's all, partner can't explain it. You have to, and you have to explain it before you make the bid by clicking on a little box, dialog box that's available for you. Okay, in the no trump box, we wrote in 15 to 17. That's the standard value of a 1 no trump opening hand, and that's in blue. That means it requires an announcement automatically. So if it's in blue, you do tell the opponents what it means. You don't wait to be asked, you just tell them what it means. And if it's a live game, your partner has to tell them. If it's an online game, you have to click on the little dialog box and enter what it means before you make the bid so that the opponents can see what it means. And that's all that means. It means my partner and I have agreed that if one of us opens 1 no trump, we're promising a balance. We're promising 15 to 17 points. And if it's no trump, it should be a balanced hand also. That means not more than 1 doubleton, means no singletons or voids. Okay. Then we clicked a box down below. We checked, or there's a box checked down below that says Stamen, 2 clubs Stamen. That's a conventional bid, very common conventional bid. That's why it's not in red. ACBL said, this is so commonly used in response to one no trump as a conventional bid that we're not going to require it to be alerted. Everyone should know that it's a conventional bid. What that means is, if you're my partner and you open one no trump and I bid 2 clubs, it means, partner, I have a 4-card major and I have at least 8 points. That's what it tells partner. It says nothing about clubs. And it asks partner a question. It says, do you have a 4-card major? And now it's back to them, okay? And they have to answer you with their next bid. If they don't have a 4-card major, they bid 2 diamonds. If they do have a 4-card major, they bid it. And, you know, so you're thinking, well, why go to all that bother? You know, if partner opens one no trump and you have a 4-card major, why don't you just bid the 4-card major? And the answer is because then I'll be declarer if we have a fit. And my hand will be hidden and they will be dummy, and their 15 to 17 points will be sitting right there for the opponents to see. And if I was an opponent, I would much rather see the 15 to 17 points than the 8 points that I might have. Okay. So it's a way of keeping the strong hand as declarer, and that's all it is. Now, I think we talked about that. Is that where we were when we finished last time? Does anybody remember with the 2 club bid? I think it was. Okay, also check there is the box that says 2 diamonds. That's in blue. What does blue mean? It means it requires an announcement. What do you have to announce? Well, if you're my partner and you open one no trump and I bid 2 diamonds and we're playing live, you have to say transfer if we agree on that convention, because what I have just asked you to do is bid hearts. 2 diamonds says you open one no trump, I bid 2 diamonds. It says, partner, I have at least 5 hearts. I want you to bid 2 hearts, because I'm thinking that might be the contract we play in, and I want you to be declarer. So I am transferring you to hearts. To do that, I need at least 5 hearts. If I have 6, even better. If I have 6, I know we have a golden fit, because you have a balanced hand, and that means you must have at least 2. If I have 5, I'm thinking, well, there's a pretty good chance we have a golden fit, but maybe not, because you might have a doubleton. And if you have a doubleton, it's a good chance it's hearts, because I have 5 of them. But, you know, I'm just looking at you've opened one no trump, you've got a good hand, I'm looking at my hand, I'm saying, I've got 5 hearts here, I think we might play in hearts. I want you to say hearts first, so I transfer you to hearts. So it goes 1 no trump, 2 diamonds by me, 2 hearts by you. Now you find out if I have any points, because I might not have had any points. To make a statement bid, I need 8 points. I can make a transfer bid to hearts with no points at all. And if I have less than 8 points, I'm probably going to pass your 2 hearts and let you play at 2 hearts, and cross my fingers you have at least 3 of them. And then 2 hearts, that box is checked also. That's a transfer to spades. If you're my partner and you open one no trump and I bid 2 hearts, I'm telling you, partner, I have at least 5 spades. And you should be thinking, well, I hope you got points too. Well, I might and I might not. You've opened one no trump and I'm looking at my hand and I'm saying, I've got 5 spades. And if I was you, I'd much rather, looking at my hand, I'd much rather play in spades than no trump. So I'm transferring you to my long suit. And when it goes back to you, you must take the transfer. You've got to bid 2 spades. Now you find out whether I have any points or not. If I have at least 8 points, I'll probably bid 3 spades. Or I might bid 2 no trump. That says, partner, I have at least 8 points, but I've got exactly 5 spades. So take your choice. You can play at 2 spades. You can raise to 3 spades. You can raise to 3 no trump. You can raise to 4 spades. You know, whatever. You know whether you have more than 2 spades or not. I don't. All I know is I have exactly 5. Okay. And that's what my 2 no trump tells you. If I had 8 points and 6 spades, I would bid 3 spades, not 2 no trump. That says, okay, I know we have a golden fit. Do you want to go to game? And then you just, then don't even dream about no trump. You either have to pass the 3 spades or go to game in spades. So those, you know, the 2 transfer bids are called Jacobi transfer. The 2 club bid is called Stayman. If you've never learned any of those, I don't expect you to be an expert at it because you've just listened to me here. But I would encourage you to go out and get some information about them. They're very simple systems. They're very widely used, even by a lot of social bridge players. And they're out there because they allow you to play better bridge, because you keep the strong hand in the declare seat instead of exposed and dummy. But you don't ever have to use them. And if you don't use them, don't check those boxes on your convention card. Just say, no, I don't play Stayman. No, we don't do Jacobi transfers. That's okay, good. That's your privilege. You certainly need to agree on the how many points an opening no trump bid is. So I can't imagine anybody not filling that in, because what they're saying, if they don't fill that in, is partner and I haven't even talked about how many points they have if they open 1 no trump. Well, certainly you've talked about that, right? So fill that in. And if you play Stayman, check the box. If you play Jacobi transfers, check the 2 boxes. If you don't check it and don't worry about it. Nobody says you have to play it. Nobody says you're better because you play it. But in fact, it will lead to better bridge. That's why it's so popular. And most people like to get better at what they're doing a lot of. But that's strictly up to the players, okay? What else is checked there? Well, see where it says 2 no trump in the upper right-hand corner of the box? I wrote 20 to 21 in there. What does it mean to you and partner if one of you opens 2 no trump? Is that what it means, 20 to 21 points? That's a very common agreement. But you might agree on 20 to 22. You might agree on 21 to 22. I think you should agree on 20 to 21 because that's the most common agreement for a reason. I can't give you the reason, but I know darn well there's a reason, because if there wasn't, it wouldn't be the common agreement. So, you know, look for help where you can get it. If these bids are out there and everyone's using them, you don't have to be a wizard to decide, I bet they're using them because it's a good idea. Okay? You don't have to understand why. And then under the 2 no trump, it says Jacobi. Basically, that's saying, do you use Jacobi transfers over when partner opens 2 no trump also? Well, if the answer is yes, if you're my partner and you open 2 no trump and I had 5 hearts, what would my bid be to transfer you to hearts?
Diamonds.
3 diamonds, right? And if I had 5 spades, what would my bid be to transfer you to spade? 3 hearts, right? Well, if we're going to use Jacobi transfer over 1 no trump, why not use it over 2 no trump? You know, it's just as good a bid there. So people who have checked Jacobi transfer bids for 1 no trump opener, it's pretty unusual that they don't also use it over 2 no trump. But it still means you might only have 5. So you might not have a golden fit, because the 2 no trump opener might have a doubleton. And if they have a doubleton, it might be in that major. So let's say you're my partner, you open 2 no trump, and I had exactly 5 hearts, and I had 5 points, which is enough to take you to game, right? I'm going to transfer you to hearts because I have 5 of them. And then I'm going to bid game, but I'm not going to bid 4 hearts. I'm going to bid 3 no trump. That says, partner, I transferred you to hearts because I have hearts. Now I'm bidding no trump, game and no trump, because I have exactly 5. If you have a doubleton and you want to play no trump, leave it there. If you have at least 3, you might have 4 yourself. We might have 9. If you have at least 3, change it to 4 hearts, partner. So, we're trying to describe our hand to each other. And these are bids that people come up with that do a good job of letting you, of describing certain kinds of hands to your partner. And then where it says 3 no trump, what if partner ever opens 3 no trump? It would be a good idea if you talked about how many points they were showing. Otherwise, you're just guessing. And a very common agreement there is 25 to 26. And if you get one of those, make sure you send me an email because I'd like to know about it. It doesn't happen very often. The rule on deciding how many points you and your partner want to agree on for 1 no trump, 2 no trump, 3 no trump, the rule is don't agree to a range of more than 3 points. And a range of 2 points is even better. You're trying to tell partner in one bid pretty much exactly what you've got. So most players go with a 3-point range for 1 no trump. And most commonly it's 15 to 17. Most experienced players use only a 2-point range for 2 no trump and 3 no trump. Because we're getting high in the bidding ladder very quickly, and we want to be more precise. If you've got a hand that good, partner might want to go to slam, and they need to know your point count within a very narrow range if they're thinking about slam.
So what if you have 18 to 19 points?
Okay, that's a great question. So if you have 18 to 19, don't open 1 no trump because it's a lie, right? Don't open 2 no trump because that's a lie. What you want to do with 18 to 19 is open in a suit. If you had a 5-card major, that would be a no-brainer. But if you don't have a 5-card major, open in your longest minor. So let's say you open 1 diamond. And then wait and see if I respond when it's my turn. Because I'm going to respond if I have at least 6 points. And if I pass, I have less than 6 points. And even though you have 18 to 19, if I have less than 6 points, where are you going with your 18 to 19? Okay? So with 18 to 19, open your longest minor and wait and see what I do. So you open 1 diamond, lefty passes, and I bid 1 heart. I've got at least 6 points, right? You got 18 to 19. Probably we belong in game. Now bid not 1 no trump, but 2 no trump. Jump to 2 no trump. And I'm saying, what? Why the jump in no trump? Well, what you just told me is you're saying, partner, I didn't open 1 no trump. I didn't open 1 no trump because I was too strong. I didn't open 2 no trump because I was too weak. But I have a balanced hand, and if I'm too strong to open 1 no trump, and I'm too weak to open 2 no trump, look at our card and tell me how many points I've got. And the answer is 18 to 19, right? So that's how you show the 18 to 19 hand. Another question is, what if I have 13 to 14 and I'm balanced? Well, you open 1 diamond, I bid 1 heart, you bid 1 no trump. I'm thinking, why didn't you open no trump if you're balanced? And the answer is you're too weak, right? But you have an opening hand, so you must have 13 to 14. So, if you have a balanced hand, you should be able to show me every combination of points within a range of 2 or 3. Other questions about that? Now, the other thing that I've written in there, see at the bottom of that no trump opening bid box where it says double/2 clubs and then stolen bid? And it's under other. And other is in red, okay? So if we ever use this, it's going to require an alert. What on earth am I talking about there? Well, one of the most frustrating things for new players, especially for any players really, but especially for new players, is when one of you opens one no trump and your left-hand opponent bids. They bid 2 of something. So you open one no trump, you're waiting for your partner, you know, you're eager to see what your partner is going to respond to your one no trump, and your left-hand opponent bids 2 diamonds. Or they bid 2 hearts, let's say. Well, Stamen just went away, right? You know, if you have agreed that you play Stamen with your partner, it's not there anymore because lefty just bid 2 hearts. 2 hearts just went away because you can't transfer to spades anymore because opponent just bid 2 hearts. 2 diamonds went away too because you've passed that. You can't transfer. You know, you open one no trump and lefty bids 2 hearts, and Stamen and the 2 Jacoby transfer bids just went away. So it's like, help, you know, partners sitting there with 8 points. What do? You know, it causes major problems if you've never talked about what you're going to do if the opponents interfere over one no trump. And it gets pretty complicated, but there's one particular interfering bid that you can deal with very easily, really simple. And that's an interfering bid of 2 clubs. Okay. If you're my partner, I open one no trump and lefty bids 2 clubs. You and I have talked about this. We have agreed that if you double their 2 clubs, that's Stamen. You're telling me, partner, they just stole my bid. And 2 diamonds is still there. You can still transfer me to hearts. And 2 hearts is still there. You can still transfer me to spades. So if you and I have talked about this, if one of us opens one no trump and our left-hand opponent interferes with 2 clubs, that's just a little speed bump. We swat that away like a little gnat, right? Because we can still make every bid we agreed upon. As long as, and that's called a stolen bid double. It's a good agreement, providing the interference is 2 clubs. You should not use it over any interfering bid except for 2 clubs. And if you ever want to discuss why not, I can do that with you sometime, but I don't want to do it here, okay? It takes too long. So if you and partner have decided on stolen bid doubles, and it's a really great agreement, that's where you put it in the card. And if we're playing live and I bid one no trump and they bid 2 clubs and you double, I have to alert it. I have to say alert, and then if I have to, not you, and then if the opponents say, why are you alerting the double? I would say, well, it's a stolen bid double. It means they've got it's Stamen, basically. It means they've got a 4-card major and it's a Stamen bid. Now that's a pretty full box compared to, there's big sections of this card that we're just going to leave blank. You don't have to have a lot of stuff marked in your convention card, but mark the stuff you play. And if you don't play it, don't mark it. I marked all of these things because they are things that I tell students when I teach beginning bridge. Do I expect they all walk out of that class ready to play these things? No. But it's something for them to strive for, okay? And we go through a card and we mark it like this in the last class, and then I tell them, don't use that card until you're ready to. But this is what, you know enough from the lessons, if you go back and review them, to play these agreements. And I think it'd be fun for you to start playing them, but that's up to you. Okay, major opening. This is just asking you, so there's a box, first, second, third, fourth. You see that, and then the box that says 5 is checked for each one. First, second, third, fourth, those are talking about which seat are you sitting in the auction. First seat is dealer, so they bid first, and then it goes clockwise around the board, second seat, third seat, fourth seat. And it says expected minimum length. So what you're indicating there, you're saying if my partner, if one of us opens hearts or spades, these are major suit opening. If one of us opens hearts or spades in first or second seat, how long a suit are we promising? And in standard American, the answer is at least 5. So that's why that box is checked. What if they're in third or fourth seat? Is it still 5? In standard American, yes, it is. That's not true of all bidding systems. If you were being taught bridge in England, you would probably learn A-call, a system called A-call. And if you're using A-call, you can open 4-card majors. There's an older bidding system in North America that was the popular system when I was a kid and my parents were playing, that required only 4-card, it was called Goran, was the name of it. And in Goran, you could open 4-card majors. If you're playing standard American and one of you makes an opening bid of hearts or spades, partner and everyone else at the table has a right to expect at least a 5-card suit. It might be 6 or 7, but at least 5, okay? That's all you're saying there. This is what we've agreed. If we open a major, it's gonna be at least 5 cards long. Now we go down to responder. If responder makes a double raise, you open 1 heart, I'm your partner, and I bid 3 hearts. Is that a forcing bid, an invitational bid, or a weak bid? In standard American, it's invitational. I'm inviting game. How strong does that mean I am? Somewhere in around 10 to 12 points. Some people pay 10 to 11, some people play 11 to 12, some people play 10 to 12. You and partner have to discuss it. Decide what's our point count agreement going to be for a double raise by responder when partner opens hearts or spades. So 10 to 12, 11 to 12, whatever you two agree. Okay. That should also promise 4-card suit support. There's no indication of that on the convention card here, but you should also, to make that invitational raise, an invitational raise is also called a limit raise. You're raising partner, but you're limiting your hand to a point count range of not more than 3. In standard American, a limit raise promises 4-card trump support, not 3-card trump support. A lot of new players ignore that. And you might choose to do that for a while. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you want to get past it eventually because it's not good bridge. A limit raise should show 4-card trump support. If you play at 3 or 4 for a while, it's no big deal. But partner has a right to expect 4. So what if you open 1 heart or 1 spade and I had 11 to 12 points, but I only had 3 hearts or spades for you? What would I do then? I would make a forcing bid to buy myself some time. You open 1 heart, I bid 1 spade. That's forcing. You have to respond. You come back with 3 clubs or with 2 clubs or with 1 no trump or whatever. Now I bid 3 hearts. And you should be thinking, why didn't you bid the 3 hearts right away? And the answer is, well, I had 10 to 12 points, partner, but I only have 3 of them. That's how I show a 3-card limit raise. I delay the limit raise by 1 round. And I think maybe that's where we should quit for today, because the next one You see the box is checked weak in the next one. It says, what does a double raise mean if the opponents have overcalled in between? And now the meaning of it's going to change a little bit. Now it's going to become weak. And maybe we'll start there next time. Questions on what we did today? Anybody? So, and again, this is everything on this card. I just sat down and I said, okay, think about what you told the students in the 2-part beginning bridge course they took from you, and check everything that you gave them the information to play if they want to start playing it. And that's all I'm doing here. I don't expect them all to be ready to play it. Some of them may never be ready to play it, and that's perfectly fine. But they have a card that they take with them from the class that shows what I taught them, and then they can decide whether they want to start actually using these things when they play or not. And they can make out their own card, keeping a track of which ones they've decided to use. And eventually maybe their own card will look exactly like this one, right? And if they play long enough, it might get more complicated than this one. But if you have a card that looks like this one, you can play years and years of, you can be a national level player with a card that looks just like this one, which is not very complicated. But a complicated convention card doesn't make you a good bridge player. It makes you a bridge player that's more likely to make mistakes because you forget your convention card or you play the conventions wrong. Okay, so keep it simple, stupid. KISS is a good motto here. And the main thing is, don't check anything on a convention card that you don't play just because somebody told you you should play it. You should play whatever you and your partner have decided you want to play. And if that's almost nothing, good for you. Okay.